Hello, здравствуйте. My name is Alex, and you're listening to podcast episode 13. So, today I want to talk about freedom, or let's say the illusion that we have that we actually have a freedom. And it's not about that, it doesn't exist. It's about how it's being swapped, just changed in our opinions, in our view. And today we've choosing the right, what's wrong, what's right, and absolutely wrong things. But let's not take me too much serious or give me too much credit, right? I'm just a thinker. I'm just somebody who looks at things from the other side, looks at things. I know it sounds corny, but listen, if you're already here, it's worth to stay and, give it a chance. Maybe you'll hear something new. Stay tuned. So what the hell am I even talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean? Why? Who gives me that right to give even definitions? So maybe I've already said it on my previous podcast, but definitions is something that we actually obliged to do if we want to have conversation, if we want to have a philosophical conversation, or even reasonable conversation, something with a substance. If we want to talk just yada yada yada, it's no problem. We just can't talk, right? Whenever we meet somebody at our friends, and we have a small talk, or maybe in a regular day by day situations, we just have a small talk. We don't go to this extension that whenever somebody say something not understandable to us, but we don't not really trying to redefine it in our opinion. We just like, okay, we'll just skip it. We just skip it through our ears, and we're not focusing about it too much. That's the joy of the quick talk. That's the joy of the cheap talk, and I appreciate the cheap talk. No problem. But if I'm giving myself that torch to speak about something meaningful, well, let me give you the definitions. Maybe it's much more easier to you to recognize the connection as soon as I give the definitions. So what about the freedom, right? Definition of freedom, it's something that gonna be hard to capture, and I'm not making easy to myself. I just don't want to make it just a simple answer, or make it just simple look at the things. But let's talk about what I define as a freedom. To be honest, I'm not I'm not using the freedom in the right way. And what I mean by that, I spent a lot of time just by picking the right phone. Yeah, that was my that was my definition of freedom, right? I was waiting. It wasn't about who better or not. I was just anxious to spend another money, spend another coin on a new phone, and I had to buy one because because the previous one started to work not really well. I couldn't hear. The main reason I use the phone is to talk on it. But as soon as it starts to be problem, I can hear the opposite side, and they couldn't hear me. I said, okay, that's time to change the phone. I was so anxious. I was sort of even mad at myself that I put myself in this situation to be anxious about picking the phone. It's a price. Is this gonna work me? How long? Is this another phone? I'm not proud of this moment, all right? And after all this, I've listened to somebody who's have real authority in philosophical question, not the authority that I'm uh, really give the no benefit of the doubt or something, but just the way how deep he takes that question as a freedom. I keep tiptoeing around this topic, and maybe I will answer it in the end of the podcast, right? By just connecting couple dots, couple of topics I've picked today to talk, and the definition will be more clear. But what the thing I was doing with the picking of the phones, it wasn't absolutely no freedom. It was the most slave thing I can do. The most slave I was feeling. I was enslaved by, first of all, by my habits, right? I was thinking about, okay, I can take the cheaper phone and it's gonna be serve me and I'm gonna hear the everyone, but at the same time I'm not gonna be happy of using any other application, any other way of this phone, and I've been so annoyed of myself, so not proud of myself that I even consider things like that. Like, it's not life, like it's not death and life choice. It's even, you know, it's some sort of view that even the good pics of my phone, I've let's say a couple years ago, I've picked a right phone for myself. What does it even, like, who cares? Like, why do I even care about it? I've lost the phone anyway, and except just like this part of the ego that just like oh, I really like this phone and everything. So that was not the moment of freedom. That was absolutely moment of slavery. And this is the first part of definition. If I want to understand some topic, haven't I need to be on the other side and look at my, like, reflect on myself and ask myself, okay, that was a moment of absolute slavery, like a tool. What is freedom then? How I couldn't put myself to feel free of the anxiety in the modern day. It's actually sort of addiction to be on anxiety. It's one of the, also one of the chains of mind chains I've wrapped myself into. And if we're talking like for real, there's a lot of anxious moment at my job, and I can tell myself I don't like it. I don't like this situation. I don't really love to be in this situation. In the end of the day, why am I still there? Why am I still in this type of occupation where you have to be anxious, where you have to be aggressive, sort of? It's not a safe, like high tech environment where you not represent any like physical abilities. I'm not talking about, like, you know, go fighting or something. I'm talking about like you gotta represent yourself as a, like, you know, like person with a lot of energy, and you're young and you're like not just you know, be pushed around, because to be in front of the customer, it's always like you know, it's a power trip to be with them. They always like feel it, they always smell your fear, or it's sort of. So whenever you're not show your confidence, even if you're not confident moment, they will bombard you, they will eat you alive. So this sort of environment, it start to be sort of addicting to me. And I'm not talking about in a good way of the addiction, but let's talk about the definition of modern. look, modern things. Like, let's say what we're facing today, it's not real real life or even character shaping choices. I'm talking about our look at the things today. It's to be more safe, it's to be more path right, path pick. It's more, it's more of the little choices that not really matter, but if we've been taught to believe it is. And whenever we need to face our destiny, and I call it as like real destiny, like we facing in reality, we facing the destiny itself. It's not something that to be questioned. It's not something to be opposed, but we actually can to oppose our destiny. We can oppose it. And the moment of opposition to destiny, and I like to call it as doom, because I like this definition that I like to hear, like saying we're doomed, which is basically the realization that you have no power, realizations you have no any sort of chance to change upcoming destiny. So this is the doom. This is something that we face every day, and we not conscious about it, and we not even ask ourselves, like we don't ask ourselves, like, is this my destiny? Is this my path? We have like little distractions in our life to stray away ourselves from that moment of picking and facing the doom and picking the other destiny to ourselves. To be more specific, right? We are fighting our existence. We are facing the doom, and we want to oppose it. And I love this concept. It's not mine. And if you're interested in a source, we can be more extended. But I'm not gonna throw you at the source. The source is, let's say, take me as your translator of the source, and I'm gonna butcher the concept itself because I've heard it and now I'm taking it from the top of the dome. But hi, excuse me, I actually pondered this idea. I actually have a talk and have sort of right under, like I felt as soon as I've meet this concept, something clicked, something peaked, like in my head, gave me the back thought to rearrange the ideas around this, as it, like I've never was putting myself in a thought of like opposing the doom. What? Who cares about it, right? Who cares? I need to work on my next ad campaign in Facebook. Those are little distractions that making me busy, and not making me obliged to think about things like behavior. I just give you, for example, after all this talk, we like the stories of opposing the doom. We like those stories. We like the stories of people who shape their destiny. We read the books, we watch the movies, right? Why are we're rooting for our hero as he's crawling on the floor in his last attempt to, throw the spirit, the enemy from his like last out of nowhere found newfound power, just to oppose that doom and realizations that he is about to be destroyed, and we rooting for him to pick up this spear and conquer and win his enemies. And we love those kind of stories. This is the first clicks that will give you understanding that we actually looking for it. We actually looking for it inside of us. We're looking for the freedom of doom. We're looking at the stories of our heroes to have an example, have a courage. Of course, we don't see the other side of the facing of doom. The doom doesn't really let you go. It's not something that you win once and it's all fun and danger, right? Why we have so many versions of so many episodes of Die Hard movie? Why we keep watching those, and like why we keep being frustrated by the new ones? We already know the actor, we already know his story, we've seen how he capable is, but we still fascinated. What is gonna happen? How he gonna handle the doom this time? And this is the stories we should use for. I'm coming back to the media. I'm coming back to the mediums that we consume with, and I'm keep saying that Netflix and other streaming services can keep you entertained. This is whoever wanna oppose the video games. There's no difference between video games or Netflix. There's actually there is a difference, right? Sorry, I let me reformulate it. If you taking your inspiration out of video games, or even anime, or even manga, or even comic books, or Netflix, it doesn't matter. If it helps you to turn on your inner voice, to be the hero of your own story, to be somebody who doesn't be not afraid to make those choices in his life, well, that's I think that's the achievement. That's the whole purpose made of all these mediums. That's the recreational process of consuming this type of medium. We can consume everything in our life as recreation, or just for like, feed our inner beast, feed our hunger. I think a recreational process is much more enriching our life. Because right now, I've seen bad examples. I've seen the bad actors. We are sitting on our safe spot in life, and we try to make our life even safer. Especially men. This is like especially talking for men, about men. This is the most unmanly thing to do. To look, to clinging, and to be, to be sort of just to be a coward. I think bravery is something that anyone can appreciate as a trait inside of us. Just for the example, if you're trying to impress a woman, you can make everything, like all the dances around it, right? But if you coming from the, like, they can smell fear. Woman can smell fear inside you. Maybe you fear yours the rejection. Maybe you fear of probably the fear of the rejection is most like commonly projected trait that you show as soon as like you've met somebody. And no wonder that the men today just picking the video games over you know uh, any other healthy activity, meeting, dating. Let's not talk okay, right now it's a activity of every one of us sitting at home. I'm not talking about it. Meeting and dating on the Facebook or any other app. This is absolute no in my opinion. This is absolutely unhealthy thing ever. The way of women put themselves in those apps, it's just disrespectful to all other women that actually, you know, going out as a like going on a courage with the courage to date and meet and actually being in some healthy way of a relationship. And this is one of the cowards ways too, because the feel of like how safe they are on those platforms, come on, it's not even it always makes me mad as soon as I start to talk about all these mediums. And let's say today there's a hot topic. The vaccine is out. And like as a medical worker, we actually we don't have to, but we have this opportunity to be vaccinated. And right, we've been waiting for it. Like we all get tired of masks, we all get tired of the close-ups and the quarantines. And a lot of people being against it, a lot of people being led by fear. And today you have all your mediums, everything that you consume today, it just make you unreasonable human. Like let's say one of the infectionists made the webinar for everyone to join, have a question, have the reason, talk, and have all explanation about this vaccine. So let's say out of 1,000 people, only 50 showed up, who actually like, and those 50 people, most of them, they're actually like serious doctors with the serious questions. And but it's not the right path, right? The right path is listening to the news, the posts, and take from there your information. And let's say this is like completely experimental. Let's say it's really dangerous vaccine right now. Well, what are we gonna do? Wait to the control groups, right? We all want to be a humanist. We all want to be a humanitarian. Oh, of course, come on. Let's make vaccine work. Make it for us. Yes. Please test it. Not on me. On everyone else. You can test it on kids, but not on me, because I am so great. Come on. Like, so you know how important I am? You know how important my life is? How dare you? How dare you giving me something that it's been not tested? I want you to test on everyone else and give me the results. I want you to give me that data that that's safe for me. And then maybe I will join the trend. This is such a coward way of living. Where is your sense of adventure? Where is your sense of like, oh, ho, what do you mean adventure? But yes, actually, yes. You can say no. It's not. It's not the right way to be. What do you mean adventure? Like, put your life at risk. Put your health at risk. Aren't you doing the same when you're going out every day, especially today, on like when the virus is spreading again? Like, we're at the third, fourth outbreak now. What if your uh, what if those who became right now getting vaccinated, they became controlled group, and they will give new study how to improve it and help other generations. People will like so much like this is the generation of the worst of the worst. I think those are like at their 30s, from 30s for 45. Those are the generation, like, let's call it the XY. I'm just ashamed of them. The way they're like putting themselves as like the center of their life. Wow, we're entrepreneurs, and just I'm looking at the whole bunch of losers. I'm looking at them, and they're all just like just lazy, unfulfilled people, and but their life is so important. And I'm not judging them. I'm ashamed that they're like became those puppets of doom. They're just doom leaders. What's their plan? They don't even have a plan. They all talk about how government gonna take all their money, and there's no retirement pays. All say, oh, as soon as gonna retire, there's not gonna be money to pay for me. It's a scam. I'll just take out all my money. At the same time, they're like living the way, or they wanna get to hundreds, but they're not. They just fantasize about it. Let's say you wanna live to the old age. Do you know what type of gamble it is? Do you know how much effort it takes you every day to be constant about your diets, making everything to be on so focused on your health, just to take a gamble to survive to that age? And but they all take it as a granted. They think, if I'll wait enough, I'll get to there. If I'll live enough, if I'll watch enough Netflix shows, I will one day wake up and say, oh my God, I'm 85. That was a great life. They don't have a game plan to get to the older years. At the same time, they don't have a balls to have to take the adventure, to face the doom, to face that upcoming destiny. And of course, again, that's not a game. That's not a joke, and not the game to face a doom. It's a moment of that's a present of our freedom, that's the real freedom. In the end, here after such a big talk around it, here we came finally to talk about the destiny and the freedom. And I had redeemed myself in my eyes when I had my vaccine shot. It's the first one. The next one, it's in the next day, in 10 days. less 7 days. In the 7 days I'll get my next the second one, and that's it. I'll still go around with the mask. I'll still need to have all the precautions, because there's no real answer. Like, to be with the mask, right? Here's one of the examples. People want to play themselves as they don't care if they're they're masters of in their life. They don't put up the mask. They ignore the fact that this is dangerous for people around them, not for them. But they take it out. And as soon as you come up with the vaccine to them, it's like, oh my God, of course not. I'm not going to take my chance about it. This is the free people. This is the people who have a freedom of choice and freedom of realization. I think not. So I'm coming back to beginning of the podcast. If we don't recognize the problem about our freedom, if we don't recognize, there's nobody will tell us what's better for us. There's nobody gonna tell how to get out of these shackles. But we can find it. We can see the examples. We can see the better actors, even the fake ones. Take them as an example. Don't take those XYs, 2 years old, lonely people who's thinking that they've been woke. They had they're not gonna be the Kant and everything from word con. It's better to follow the fictional characters than the people who portray themselves real in social media. So in my definition, freedom is self-recognition. Freedom is not. You see, I'm trying to define the freedom, and I still start from what it's not. Well, maybe I failed this time, and that's not something that I can be judged. I'd like to feel I failed to define for myself this understanding. But what I'm sure it's something to be. It's kind of scary, as I called my episode, "Freedom is Scary." This is the scary part. To face the choice. To face the choice takes courage. And I'd like you not to be afraid. And I see you next time. Bye.